AI is going to replace all of us. Okay, well, if you believe that myth, I got a couple more for you. So, in this episode of Wired and Well, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the myths versus the reality around AI. So, my name is Cindy, and I'm a librarian and education technology expert. And I'm also a Gen Xer, and I want to guide you in trying to stay sharp and strong and connected. So if you've ever felt overwhelmed by technology or wondered if you've missed the memo, then this channel is for you. Let's jump into this episode, debunking common myths around AI. So here are the myths, the 5 myths around AI that we're going to take a look at. That it's going to replace us, that it's alive, that it can do everything a human can do, that it has no opinion, completely neutral, and it will not impact you. So let's take a closer look at each one. All right, it's going to replace us all. So I'm sure that you've heard this. I'm sure that you've heard the rumors around the table, your kids, your grandkids telling you, or worrying, you even worrying that AI is going to replace all of us. So AI is like any other innovation. Back in the day of the typewriter, you had typesetters. You had people who did those little type ribbons. We don't have those anymore. So AI is going to replace certain jobs. I'm not going to pretend that it's not, but it's also going to enhance other jobs. So healthcare professionals like doctors are going to have access to large pieces of data, large amounts of data about you and me. And they're going to be able to very quickly come up with treatment plans and other diagnoses thanks to the help of AI. They're not going to rely solely on AI. They're going to use their own training and expertise and experience to interpret what AI is recommending. AI won't be the final arbiter of whether or not you're going to get a, kidney surgery or something. Education, teachers. In the area of education, teachers are really making strides in using AI. They're using it to take huge amounts of data about students, putting them into different buckets and types of students with the help of AI, and then coming up with customized education plans for them, personalized plans for them, coming up with new ways to assess student learning. So there are at least 2 professions right there that are really using AI like gangbusters to help in their everyday work. So it is not going to replace us. Just like when the internet arrived, just like when the printing press happened, it's going to come. But what you need to do is you need to stay curious and you need to keep learning. Okay? There's a lot of ways you can go out there and learn. Liking, subscribing, sharing this channel is one way that you can keep learning. All right. AI is conscious or alive. It's alive. It is not alive. It is not alive. It is, I guess, in some ways, a little bit like Frankenstein. There's no heart and soul in there. Okay? It is not thinking, living, breathing. It has no consciousness. What it does is it's mimicking and predicting with a really high accuracy what you're going to want it to say or do next. And it's asking you a lot of probing questions. And as you answer, it says, well, they said this, now I'm going to ask them that. And then they said that, and I'm going to ask them this. And you feel like you're having a conversation. So when you're on there with Alexa, you feel like you're really having a conversation with Alexa or Siri or Google Assistant. But you really aren't. They don't actually understand what you're saying. Okay? They're just mimicking what they've been programmed to do. Okay, so when you ask them, is it going to rain? What's the weather today? They're not interested in answering that question for you. They're not happy that you asked them the question. They're just going to give you the answer. If you're ever online with a chat bot and it's asking you questions, it's not a human being. And oftentimes we get so frustrated that we really wish it was a human being. How many times have you been through those automated systems and they're getting you nowhere? So there's another thing about replacing us. I actually heard that they might be getting rid of those self-checkout lines because they're finding people want to talk to human beings. Isn't that something? AI can do everything that a human can do. Well, it can't do everything a human can do. It can't be creative. It can't tell an emotional story. It can make you a poem. It can write you a song. It can draw you art. But when you really look at it, you can tell that there is a soul missing, that there is nothing there. The other thing is that it can't make an ethical decision. There's no Solomon there. They're splitting up the baby. AI is going to split that baby up. The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the one. That was Spock. I want to be Kirk. My needs, I'm the one. So AI cannot do everything that a human can do. And it shouldn't, because it's a machine and you don't want it to do everything that you can do. It's just an assistant, and you ultimately are the decision maker for that AI. AI has no opinion. Well, I'm saying this is a myth. So what I'm saying is that it does have an opinion. Well, I just said it wasn't human, so how can it have an opinion? Where does AI get its information from? It gets its information from you and me. It gets its information from the data that we put into it. Now, sometimes we can put dirty data, corrupted data, information that's incomplete, okay? And that is what AI is learning from. That's what it's training on. When you query it, it's going to give you information based on incomplete data. So the biggest examples, some of the biggest examples I have of that are when you're going for a job. So if you have grandkids who are going for a job and they're telling you the job market is really hard and they're trying to write a great cover letter, they're trying to make a really great compelling resume using all the right words, and what happens? Maybe they don't get an interview. Well, what really actually happened there? There was an AI algorithm at work. So what happened was, you have a job for an assistant to a CEO. It's an assistant position. That AI for the hiring company, that AI for the HR, Human Relations Department, right? From the hiring department. They have an algorithm that their AI runs. And what it does is it's looking at certain things for that type of position. So if you're going to be an assistant to a CEO and you have had, look back and you look at assistants to CEOs over the last 25 years, you put all of that information about that type of job and the person who held that type of job into your large data set for your AI to compare all of those resumes to. And what it's going to do is it's going to say, well, in the past, the best assistants to CEOs have been white males with degrees from these 5 Ivy Leagues, and they fell within living in this particular area of the United States. So now it's going to look at your grandchild's resume. And if they didn't go to one of those 5 schools, if they didn't come from one of those states or geographic regions, if they aren't in that particular socioeconomic background, they didn't go to those types of high schools, they're not going to be asked for the interview. So that is biased in the AI system. Another example is facial recognition. You got a lot of apps. Do you ever do the facial recognition? Maybe you don't, but I'll teach you how to do that in another episode. But anyways, you're doing your banking, and you put your face in there and it recognizes you. Well, if you're Caucasian, it'll recognize you probably about 98% of the time. But did you know if you're from India, you have the highest likelihood of the facial recognition not working for you? And that's because when it came to training the facial recognition software that is on your phone, they didn't use Indian faces. They may have used black faces, but not a whole lot of them. They used predominantly Caucasian faces. So now you have AI having an opinion on whether or not you're legit to open up your phone. Okay? AI will not impact me. Humada, humada, humada. I'm not listening. Talk to the hand. AI has nothing to do with me. You cannot put your head in the sand. AI has everything to do with you. If you have a cell phone, if you use a phone, if you are going to plan your retirement, you are using AI. You are not escaping from it. If you look at your retirement portfolio and you have 10% in real estate and you've got 20% in bonds and 30% in whatever, and you go online and you play with those numbers, you're using AI. If you're trying to get to a certain magical dollar amount by the time you're 65, you're using AI to get there. That is impacting you because AI is trying to help you and tell you where to put your money. But that is only a tool. It's an assistant to an actual financial planner. So the next thing you want to do is take that information that AI gave you and ask a real financial planner. So it is going to impact you. If you're trying to get to your grandkid's birthday party and there's an accident up the road, and you got your little Google map or whatever it is that you're using to get your directions, and it's flashing yellow alert, and you go around and take another route, that's AI. So it's impacting you. There is no escaping it. So what you need to do is you need to accept it, and you need to learn it, and you need to not be afraid of it. Final thoughts. You've mastered VHS tapes. You've mastered the annoying dial-up internet. I can still hear that song in my ears. We all know it. And you've mastered smartphones. You can do this. You can master AI. You've got this. Okay? It's a total power move for you. So there we have it. We have ghost busted the 5 myths around AI. AI isn't here to replace you, scare you, or outsmart you. It's a tool, and just like any other tool, it's all about how we choose to use it. So I hope you found today's episode helpful, and I'd like you to hit the subscribe button, share it, join me here on Wired and Well, where we take modern technology and make it make sense. So stay sharp, stay strong, and stay connected.